Hi, I'm Shannon Rollins with Shannon Rollins Real Estate. Have you been asked recently to sign a buyer agency agreement prior to even seeing a single home and you're wondering what is going on? Signing a buyer agency agreement prior to seeing even a single home is now a requirement of the law. Lawmakers decided, you see, that buyers didn't understand what their agents were being paid, how and when they were going to be paid. And that's how it was in the past, because a seller had signed on their listing agreement an amount that they knew they were going to pay to the buyer agent for bringing a contract. Now, that is not necessarily the case, and it's not indicated in the Realtor MLS system what a buyer agent would pay for bringing an acceptable contract to a seller. So now a buyer agent has to call a listing agent and say, is your seller willing to pay a buyer agent fee if I bring you a great contract? And if the answer is no, the seller is not willing to pay a fee, or the fee is so low that it's not acceptable to the buyer agent, well, that buyer agent's not going to be willing to show the house unless the buyer is willing to pay the fee to their buyer agent themselves. If the answer from that buyer is no, I cannot afford to pay your buyer agent fee, then you need to agree up front with the agent that you only want to look at homes where the seller is willing to pay the buyer agent fee. It's very easy. You have a buyer agency agreement. It's very clear now to the buyer how they're going to be paid, when they're going to be paid, and by whom they're going to be paid. Another thing you need to work out with your agent ahead of time is, tell me, what are you going to do for me if I sign a buyer agency agreement with you? Are you a full-time agent? Do you have somebody on standby to show me the house if you go on vacation, you have a doctor's appointment, or you're at one of your children's events? Find these things out ahead of time before signing a buyer agency agreement. With my company, we work as a team. My agents all have a life just like buyers do. They go on vacation and have events. And in these cases, we always have an agent on standby ready to cover for them, so our buyers always are able to get in and see those homes right away. Sometimes being the first person in to see a home is critical to getting that house under contract, and getting it under contract quickly before a lot of other buyers get in there to look at it. So it's important to have a great agent with a great plan ready to help you find the perfect home. If you have questions about buyer agency, give me a call, send me an email. I'd be glad to answer your question. And remember, my team and I are on standby 7 days a week, ready to help you take the smoother road to sold.